Hey, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're just joining me. I'm Sarah, and I am super excited to be starting a homemaking series where I share not only from the Word of God, but also from my home. And today we're going to start with a really simple focaccia bread recipe. I love how simple this recipe is because if I'm being honest, I do not feel like much of a homemaker most days. As someone who didn't get married until I was almost in my mid-30s, I spent a lot of time as a single woman, and so I feel a lot more comfortable sitting in front of my computer, making websites and doing freelance work than I do spending time in the kitchen and cooking and baking and making bread and taking care of kids and doing all the things that comes with marriage and parenting. And so I'm excited to be sharing some of the tips and recipes and strategies that have been working well for my family. And this easy recipe is one that my family absolutely loves. It makes our home smell amazing, and it takes me just about 10 minutes to prep the dough in the morning. I've only been making bread for the past few months, and this is one of the recipes that I have consistently come back to almost every day because it is so quick and easy and simple to make. So let's jump into this recipe. You're going to start by putting 4 cups of flour in a bowl. Then you'll add 2 teaspoons of kosher salt and 2 teaspoons of instant yeast. And you're going to mix all of that together. And then you'll add 2 cups of warm water, and you'll mix that into a sticky dough. I like to use a fork or wooden spoon to mix it, and then I'll get in there and knead it gently with my hands just to make sure it's evenly mixed. And then you want to take about a tablespoon of olive oil and pour that in your bowl. You're not going to mix that in the dough, but you are going to roll your dough ball in it to make sure that your dough ball is evenly coated with oil so it won't stick to the bowl. And then you're going to put a damp cloth on top of the bowl and let your dough rise for 90 minutes to 2 hours. I like to let my dough rise in the oven with the oven light turned on. That helps create a nice warm, draft-free environment for the bread dough. And then once that time is up, you're going to pull your bread dough out of the oven. You should see that the dough has just about doubled in size and is still a nice, fluffy, sticky dough. When I make this recipe, I usually use 2 glass pie baking dishes to bake the bread in, but you can just as easily use a cookie sheet with a silicone baking mat or parchment paper. Next thing you'll want to do if you're using glass baking dishes is to butter your dishes. You'll want to spread softened butter all over the bottom and the sides on the inside of the dish. This is going to help create a nice golden crunchy crust on your bread, and it's also going to keep it from sticking to the dish. So now you're ready to take your bread dough, split it in half, and put 1 lump of dough in each of your baking dishes. And then you can use your fingers and spread it out evenly across the bottom of your baking dishes. And those are ready to go back in the oven or wherever you let bread dough rise, and those will rise for another 30 minutes. So they'll be nice and fluffy. And then it's time to preheat the oven to 425. And while that's preheating, I like to use my fingers to put dimples in the bread so that when I put olive oil over the top, some of that olive oil will go down in those dimples and be delicious. I also take a pastry brush and brush that olive oil over the top of the focaccia bread just to create a nice, even coated texture on top. Then I like to sprinkle kosher salt over it. Sometimes I'll put garlic salt on top, which is really delicious as well. Once the oven is preheated, those are ready to go in the oven for 25 minutes. And then when they come out, they are golden brown and delicious. Alright, so that is how you make focaccia bread. It is super simple and easy to make, and we just love how it makes our house feel like a home with the scent of fresh warm bread every day, and we hope you love it as much as we do. So I will see you right back here for the next episode of Biblical Homemaking. God bless you.